friends. Hello and welcome to one more episode of Educated Muslim. I hope you are doing well. Today's episode is about the God of Islam, that is the Allah of Islam, and the God of the Bible, the Yahweh. So, I was reading certain passages of the Quran and that of the Bible. I came across very interesting facts. And even it is more amusing that today Israel, the small country of Israel, is proving that the Allah of Islam is a false God, or rather a non-existent God, and the God of the Bible is a real, existing, working, helping, saving God. How do you come to know? Let's get into it. When I read Surat Al-Anfal, that is chapter 8, verse 65, it says that Allah is promising the believers that when they fight, one of their believers is equal to 10 of the non-believers. The verse says this way, O Prophet, motivate the believers to fight. So those believers are according to Prophet or according to Allah, those believers are expected to fight. If there is a 20 steadfast among you, they will overcome 200. And if there is 100 of you, they will overcome 1,000 of the disbelievers, for they are a people who do not be compared. So Allah is clearly saying that one Muslim is equal to 10 non-Muslim in the battle. So do we start comparing the counts between the Israel and the Palestinians? Because Palestinians, led by their Hamas soldiers, are all participants of the war. How do I say that Palestinians are participants of the war? The basic reason is that these Palestinians, they elected Hamas. Hamas is an extremist Islamist organization. And what did they do? They did the bidding. They were the one which went ahead and destroyed 1,200 Israelis in October 7, 2023. And they were civilians. So when you kill civilians, you don't have to say that, oh, it's our civilians which is being killed by Muslims, by Israelis. No, that doesn't work. Because in a battle, for example, I'm in India, and if we have a battle with Pakistanis, every Indian will fight against the Pakistani. The last Indian will fight against the Pakistanis. Similarly, every Palestinian thinks Israel is the enemy, because those people who killed on 7th of October were not soldiers. They were normal Palestinians who were employed by the Israelis. Those people killed their masters or the common Israeli citizens. So every Palestinian is considered as a soldier. And even in this verse, Allah is not telling that the non-combatants. Allah is telling believers. Every believer is equal to 10 non-believers. So what is the count? Well, according to the latest reports that I have, 44,000 Palestinians were killed in the battle or in the war, whatever you call it. And how many Israelites died? 1,700. So how does that match up? If 44,000 Palestinians were killed in the battle, ideally, even in that count, there should be 450,000 Israelites who should be killed, almost 500,000. If Allah is true, this clearly proves that Allah is a false God. He cannot stand for his own word, isn't it? If Allah is a true God, he should have fulfilled his promise. And very ironically, here even the Iranians, who are the Shias, and this Hamas basically are the Sunnis, they both are same. They can't say, the Sunnis cannot say that, oh, we are true Muslims and the Shias are not, or vice versa. Now they are united against the Israelis, but still they lost. What does this tell you? This clearly tells you that Allah is a false God or a non-existent God, isn't it? Now even more amusing is the next verse. The next verse within one verse, Allah changes his color just like a lizard. You know that there is a lizard which changes its color very often according to the circumstances. Here Allah is doing the same way. That is verse 66. Surah Al-Anfal, verse 66. It's saying that now Allah has lightened your burden. So who was taking the burden all this while fighting? Allah is clearly telling it is the Muslims who took the burden, but Allah never took the burden. Allah was just giving all kinds of random mathematical stuff, saying that one will kill 10. But in reality, it is the Muslim's burden, it's not Allah's burden. He says that now Allah has lightened your burden. Your God does not take up your burden. The God puts burden on you. And what he goes on to tell is, and he knows that there is weakness in you. How is it that this Allah is not able to make the weakness of a Muslim as his strength? Because I believe in a God who says that you are weak, but I am strong, I will take care of you. And what is Allah saying? So if there are 100 steadfast among you, they will overcome 200. The earlier ratio was 1:10. Now Allah is changing. The Allah of Islam is a changing God. He says that now one will defeat two. One will defeat two. Now think of the mathematics with Israelis. Even one is not able to defeat two. If 44,000 Palestinians died, how many logical Israelites should have been killed? It's 88,000. How much Israelis got killed? 1,700. Out of that 1,700, 1,200 were captured and killed in that first day, October 7th, when they were partying. They were not even combatants. But think, in the whole 1 year battle, Israelis lost how much? 500 of their soldiers, or 500 Israelis. And how many Palestinians died? 44,000. So what does it prove to you? Friends, this clearly proves that Allah is a non-existing God, and this was all Muhammad's trick to trap Muslims. Because Allah clearly says that He will lighten your burden. That means what? Allah never took the burden. And says that Allah is telling you have weakness within you. Well, we believe in a God who gives strength to the weak. But here Allah is not able to strengthen the Muslim. It's proved square that Allah is a non-existing God. Now let us go back and see who is the God of Israel. Should we not? We are comparing the God of Islam and the God of the Israelites, Allah and Yahweh. So should we not compare? So let's go to the Bible to compare that. Before I start telling what the Bible says, let us listen to what the Israeli defense minister Yoav Gallant says. He put up a tweet quoting the Bible, Leviticus chapter 26, verse 7. It says, or he says, you will pursue your enemies and they will fall by the sword before you. That is Leviticus 26, 7. But I think he was trying to be more diplomatic, and that is why he did not quote the next verse. The next verse tells you, because this is a context, and the context should continue to the next verse. The next verse says, 5 of you will pursue 100, and 100 of you will pursue 10,000, and your enemies will fall by the sword before you. How prophetic is this word? It says that 5 of you will pursue 100. He is giving 5:100. 100:1,000. In fact, if it is 100:1,000, how many Israelis, the Israeli soldiers died? 500. How many of the Palestinians they killed? It is matching those figures, isn't it? And that is the God of Israel. Yoav Gallant himself is quoting. I am not quoting. But then let me give you one more verse. This is a blessing the God of Israel gave to Israelites when they entered the land of Canaan. This is from verse 7 of Deuteronomy chapter 28. The God of Israel is giving this promise to them. The Lord will grant that the enemies who rise up against you to be defeated before you. I mean, you think from the nation of when they got reestablished in that land, Middle East, they have always defeated their enemies. And what is God telling? They will come at you from one direction, but flee from you in 7 directions. See how those Islamic terrorist organization, Hamas, Houthi, Hezbollah, Iran, all these guys, they are fleeing before this small, tiny, puny nation of Israel. Think of that. So who is the real God? Surely the God of Israel, whom I worship, is the real God, not that false Allah who could not stand against a small nation of Israel. He could not stand. Tell me, think for yourself, every Muslim, I challenge you, think for yourself. The God whom you follow, the Allah of Islam, is a false God. He is a non existent God. The real God is the God of the Israelites. Now, that is the end of this video. May the good Lord bless you and keep you till we meet again. Bye for now.